Hi, this is Frank Buck, and this is the place to be if you want to get organized and make it look easy. So, I guess you've all seen the TechCrunch article by now, and I'm sure that there'll be similar articles coming out even as we speak. The article certainly doesn't make me happy because I know some of the names behind those numbers. But I tell you this, these are good people that are going to land on their feet in good places because they're high quality. They did a good job for Evernote and they'll do a good job for someone else. And as they say in business, that's business. And let me digress for just a moment to speak to the teachers out there who may be watching. With all the problems we face on a day to day basis in terms of salary, difficult parents, difficult students, and sometimes unsupportive administration, one thing that we do have going for us is a certain amount of job security. You have a job for the remainder of the school year. And sure, your contract can be non renewed at the end of the year for absolutely no reason. But after you've acquired tenure, you've got job security that most professions will never see. As long as you don't really mess up, you've got a job for as long as you want a job with that school district. But I digress. Let's get back to Evernote. Evernote has floundered and flourished over and over again. Remember the predictions like this or this? What's happened over the last several years has simply poised Evernote for a bright future. Evernote works the same now on Windows or Mac, the desktop version versus the web version. It's all the same, makes things so much easier. And some of the recent improvements just make the daily workflow better. I enter an event on my Google Calendar. That same event now appears on my Evernote calendar in Evernote Home. I can click an icon and create a note for that meeting and begin to take notes ahead of time. And when it's time for the meeting, I click the icon on my Evernote calendar and I'm looking at that note or several notes that I wanted to have on hand when that meeting began. And I might be forgetful, but I don't have to worry. 5 minutes before that meeting starts, I'm going to get a little prompt in the corner of my screen. I click it and there are my notes, even if I haven't thought about it. And if I haven't created any notes, I get a little prompt asking me if I'd like to create one. I click it and it's pre-populated with the name of the meeting, the date, the time, the attendees, and anything else that was in that event over on my Google Calendar. Now, at my age, I'm no newcomer to the naysayers. I remember the warnings about our economy from President Reagan as he rubbed coins together on national TV to illustrate how the dollar had fallen from its previous value. I remember President Kennedy and his response to the threat of another world power way back then. And I remember President Nixon in his attempts to improve relations with foreign powers. It's sort of like an English lesson. We make the past perfect in the present tense. But let's face it, bad news sells. And who wants to read an article that says everything's going just fine? So, what does the future of Evernote look like? Well, let's bring it down to you and me. And what does the future of your Evernote account or my Evernote account look like in terms of the value it brings to us every day? I can suggest that what that tool has doesn't make nearly as much difference as the person using the tool. So if you're using Evernote and wonder what you need to do to make your future better, my suggestion is to start with getting better at Evernote, and all of us can, including me. There are plenty of people out there who are anxious to show you how. I write on many topics related to organization, time management, and productivity. And one of those things is Evernote. I'm an Evernote certified expert. And there are many others out there. So if you're watching this video and you think of other people whose videos on Evernote you have enjoyed, put that information down in the comments so that other people can take advantage of that. And keep reading the news, but take what you read with a grain of salt. But, you don't need me to tell you to do that. You already knew it. For me, I found Evernote to be a fairly simple program to learn and a simple one to teach. There was one time that I actually did get mad quite a few years ago. It was at a time when Evernote kind of curtailed what was offered with the free plan and they increased their prices. So I was going to leave Evernote and I found a way to take all of my data and move it somewhere else. I was ready to go within a day with somewhere else. And that experiment lasted exactly one day. I was right back with Evernote. That experiment lasted a single day. I upgraded to a paid account and I've never looked back. The grass isn't necessarily greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Thanks for spending this time with me today. And if you like this video, if you're finding value in it, if you're interested in Evernote, I want you to take a look at these two videos right over here and subscribe to this channel. Come over to my website, frankbuck.org. Thank you again for spending this time with me. This is Frank Buck, helping you get organized and make it look easy.